What are the results of one bad little piggy? What does the result of one bad pig do in our culture? Let's break down exactly what one bad little piggy does to our society and to our culture. And the reason I call them pigs is because there's no checks and balances on them. And when there's no checks and balances on someone, then what happens is they turn into a total authoritarian pig. That's the best way to describe it. So let's say that little piggy pisses off one person a day. And I'm not talking about cops who kill people. I'm talking about cops who talk down to people. I'm talking about cops who belittle people. I'm talking about cops who are aggressive and mean to people on the street. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your everyday interaction with a police officer. How does that make you feel? Well, let's just say that one bad little piggy, he only abuses one person a day, just one. But that one person has a mother and has a best friend, so that's three. Let's just say that it's just one person that the bad little piggy affects in a negative way, and then he affects 2 or 3 other people because he tells them that this little piggy treated me terrible. And then they share that with a friend, so we're just gonna go 3. Now that bad little piggy, he could abuse multiple people. He could abuse 3 or 4 people a day. I'm being fair here. I'm being fair to the little piggies that have no checks and balances. So if we go 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, and 3 here. That's your 5-day work week. At the end of this 5-day work week, we have 3, 6, 9, 12, we have 15. 15 people can't stand police at the end of this guy's work week. And that's if he just pisses off one person and they tell a couple others. He probably pisses off a couple people a day that hate police because of the way that little piggy behaves. So then we don't just work 1 week though. So then the next week, we're just going with the basic number of 3. Okay, so that's 18. And then you keep going down the line, and this is a 5-day work week here. And this is 15. And then we go 3, 3, 3, 3, and this ends up being 12. Now, this is a very minor number. This is low numbers for piggies who treat people terrible, which is most of them. Most of them talk to us with disrespect. They threaten to kill us. They threaten us constantly. It's never ending, right? The police oppression in our country is disgusting. What we're seeing is TikTokers get shut down before they can do their dance. That's what the police in this country are. So right here, we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 47, 55, 60. So that's 60 people. That's 60 people a month that hate police's guts because the way they treated them or the way they treated their best friend, cousin, lover, girlfriend, you name it. So we have 60. That's the number, 60. So now we go down here for our yearly total. That's a 12-month work year. So we go 6 times 10 is 600, 720. So the total for the year, that one little piggy made hate police as much as I despise police, he created 720 more of me. Now they may not be as outspoken or as well read in understanding the documentation that created this legislation that allows them to treat us like shit with no checks and balances. See, and I'm gonna go into that next. So we're at 720 people in 1 year. 1 year, that bad little piggy made 720 people hate police. Now let's multiply that by 20. And what is our result gonna be? So you got 7,200 times 2. That's 14,400 people. By one little piggy being abusive, talking down to people, treating people like shit. That is how we get the system where you have a guy like me who writes the results of one bad little piggy. Why do I do that? Because the pigs in our country are disgusting, because there's no checks and balances on them. There has to be a checks and balances system. And the next video I'm gonna make is gonna be a response to San Joaquin Valley's video on Instagram where he said, how do we get rid of that one bad cop? One bad cop creates almost 15,000, it's probably well more than that. Remember, we're only doing one person plus their mother and their best friend. We're not doing 3 people, which is typical when these pigs are pigs to people on the streets. So this is the result of one bad little piggy right there. One of my favorite channels on YouTube is San Joaquin Valley. He put out a video on Instagram today and he asked a question. He said, so how do we get rid of that one bad cop? And I made a video earlier that shows the direct effects of what one bad cop does to our culture and does to our society. Now, if you've been keeping up with the philosophies that I've been espousing, they are not mine. I do not own them. I did not create them. I'm not that smart. I'm just a regular guy. However, I did read the philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and I also read Montesquieu, and I also read a guy named John Locke. These are the founding Enlightenment thinkers of our country. These are the guys who had the principles and the philosophies that set the tone of our country, that our country is founded on liberty and that our country is founded on checks and balances. And the reason why we have such disarray with the criminal justice system and police is because it was set up to imprison people of color. I've shown you the laws on the wall. The laws were set up to lock up people of color. That's a simple fact. So how do we get rid of that one bad cop? Because currently the police union will protect a bad cop like Anthony Piercy, who murdered Brandon Ellingson, and then they will rehire that cop and give him his back pension. We have to instill, so if this is the policing agency, notice it's the smallest building. We don't need as many cops as we have. We need a quarter of the cops that we have. We need to redistrict all policing zones based on a digital layout. And we don't need 75 different policing agencies, and we don't want them. We don't want them. The people no longer want that. We don't want that. So in the second agency here, this third-party agency oversees policing. They collect all the body cam footage. They get all the body cam footage directly. And these folks are on-site auditors of police. They literally film every interaction a cop has with any person at any time. Police have to check in with them before they do a stop because we need checks and balances so badly. We're so out of control, and you know that, and I know that. Now, I call this the Montesquieu Agency because he wrote the books on checks and balances. Or was it Jean-Jacques Rousseau? You know, I just can't remember. Does it matter? There was a book written by our Enlightenment thinkers called Checks and Balances, and we're not using it. And the result is death and a lynching system that just puts you in prison, puts an F on you, and you can never get a job again. So the Montesquieu building, this building that oversees police, audits them, physically audits them, this agency has subpoena power and arresting power. They can physically interact between police and citizens when the police are attacking people. And we've seen it too many times. Now, the Montesquieu Agency, upon its inception, is tied directly to the police union. They are not the same agency. There are no ex-police in here. These guys work with the police union to set the policies of the police union. What that means, San Joaquin Valley, is that these guys decide whether a cop should be on the street or not the police union. The police union we have seen is corrupted to the core. The Fraternal Order of Police is the most disgusting agency in America. I've never seen anything worse. That pig in New York, who's that pig? I can't remember, with the slick back hair, just a disgusting pig. We will never get rid of bad police as long as we only have one policing agency, and that's it. And they have total authoritarian control over everything and everybody, and they will punish themselves, they'll police themselves, they'll do. Ahmaud Arbery, this is the police. Was Ahmaud Arbery's murder investigated or not? No, it was not. It was not. Until the press and the media and everybody got involved, because the police are corrupt to the core. Because we've given them absolute power. It's not their fault. You can barely see it. There's the tip of the sign right there. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So when we start the Montesquieu Agency, this directly interacts with the police agency. The Montesquieu Agency essentially becomes the police union. And if they don't, then we break their union and we break the police union. Because this is bullshit. And we've all had enough of it. I want checks and balances. I want Montesquieu. I want the Montesquieu Agency created that has checks and balances over police, that can get rid of bad cops before they hurt or kill thousands and thousands of people over their career. This isn't rocket science, and these aren't my ideas. These ideas belong to Montesquieu, John Locke, and Jean-Jacques Rousseau, men far smarter than me, and likely far smarter than you. We have a Constitution and a Bill of Rights that sets an ideal and a standard that's based on liberty and freedom and independence. And we have a roughshod police organization that we've given absolute power to that is destroying our American culture. We just keep doing the same thing over and over again and again, all day long. Same thing again and again and again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. What's going to happen today? Police are going to murder and kill someone, and then the police union is going to protect them. There it is. How are things going? They're going like shit because we don't have checks and balances put over the police that have subpoena power, arresting power, and entered the police union to set the guidelines of what is acceptable in policing in America in 2021. The police union standards were created in 1929 with August Vollmer. Look it up. So San Joaquin Valley, forgive me for getting so excited. We need a third-party agency called the Montesquieu. And then we need another third-party agency called the Locke Agency that oversees district attorneys and has to approve of all police warrants. So you have two different agencies now overseeing police agency. Why is that? Because we need checks and balances on top of checks and balances. All right, that's good.